Africans have benefited from their experience with white supremacy. And we just have to look at the...
Really? I'm just going to leave that out there. I'm just going to leave that out. You know, that is not even worth challenging. Well, I'm quite conflicted about interviewing Richard Spencer. He's the leader of what they call the alt-right, which I think is a new word for fascism. And ordinarily giving someone like that oxygen is something I think journalists shouldn't do. But here's the difference. Spencer and people like him credit themselves with providing the intellectual underpinnings for the Trump revolution, and I fear they might be right. This is a group of people with very dangerous ideas. Richard, how do you do?
So are you the interviewer?
I'm the interviewer. Okay, I'm Gary Younge.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Look at the average life of an African American in the United States. It's far better than any African living in Africa.
Really? So slavery was good for them?
Look, they benefited from being in a different nation than their own, no doubt.
Really?
No doubt. How can you deny that?
Sorry?
How can you deny such
it's
an obvious
such
fact?
a ridiculous notion.
How is it ridiculous?
It's such a ridiculous,
How is it ridiculous?
Notion that people forcibly removed from their homes and taken to this country to work for nothing for a couple of centuries, that benefited them. Have you ever for a second considered that if they were able to stay in the countries where they were born and lived and weren't forcibly removed, that those continents might be in a better state now?
I seriously doubt that.
To what extent do you feel that Trump shares your viewpoints?
I don't think he shares the ideal of the ethno-state. I don't think he shares my conscious thinking about race or the conscious thinking about race of most people in this building. But does he have nationalist feelings? I think that's clear. I mean, he wouldn't have run the campaign that he ran if he didn't feel some sense of loss. We are losing our nations here in the United States, in Britain, across the world.
I'm not losing my nation. I'm British.
You're not using your nation because you're winning this demographic battle.
What am I winning? I'm living in the pace of my birth, just like you.
But that's not really your home.
You don't get to tell me where my home is.
But you know that that's not your real home.
Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me what I know.
Didn't build it.
Sorry? Listen, my ancestors built it tenfold and weren't paid for it.
Look, it's like saying that
you could have enslaved someone else.
It's like saying African Americans built the United States. Like,
they did.
But
they literally built the White House.
Because we made them do it.
And you're proud of that. You're proud of that.
Well, it's had bad consequences. But the fact is, yes, I am ultimately proud of it.
You're proud of slavery.
I'm ultimately proud of my ancestors because...
You're proud of slavery?
I embrace all of it. You'll never be an Englishman.
You don't get to tell me what I will be.
Because my name's Richard Spencer. So
my name's Richard Spencer, and I approve this message.
Yes, and so therefore I actually do get to tell you that you're not an Englishman.
You don't get to tell me anything. You're a ridiculous
You don't even know.
The interview's over. You've got nothing to say. I was looking for someone who could give some intellectual ballast to what's going on in this country in terms of race and in terms of white people, but I found the wrong guy. Because you don't know what you're talking about.